regionalization?
I'm against it. I think there's some value in consolidating some of the task force that we do have, the drug units and things like that. We already consolidated, some of the forensic stuff, and that's all common sense stuff. But to consolidate police power in a fashion like that, I don't think, number one, it's not needed right now. I think the county sheriff has a role in the community where a rural community can rely on him, and the police chief has a very reactive function in the city, and people rely on that. So, and it goes back 230 years. That's why we have 15,000 police departments in this country. We like that independent power. We don't like to consolidate it. And so unless someone, regionalization, if you studied it, you could probably save money, but your savings would come maybe 20, 25 years down the road, because the capital costs up front are very expensive to do that. I just don't think we need it. We could spend our money elsewhere right now.
What would you do if someone from the Alphabet Soup gang was going to do a raid on somebody, like a business or a citizen?
Okay. Are you talking about the federal authorities? Well, I think, and I said this to the group last month, federal law enforcement has a legitimate claim to certain crimes. I deal in major crimes. I deal with sexual exploitation. A lot of the internet crimes, they deal with that much better than we can locally. I get that. If you're talking about, can you give me an example?
Like the FDA over in Kent.
Okay.
Or an IRS raid on somebody for a notice of lien or something like that. So they're supposed to be behind their taxes.
Has a state law been broken? Then I would have to think that if they're breaking state law, then of course they become involved. They're enacting federal law, and I think you need to get with your Kathy Morris Rogers to get that changed. If a law is, I'll give you an example. There was a lot of talk about what happened to Michelle Lowell out here in the valley and her son. And I don't know all the circumstances. What was told to me was state agents came out and disarmed him because he had guns there on the premise. And evidently when he showed up, he had a sidearm. They disarmed him. And of course, if they had committed a crime, if they disarmed him unlawfully, of course that's theft of a firearm, you'd investigate that. I guess the point I'm trying to make is you look at what's happening in Florida with Sheriff Finch. He decided to take up for one of his people. I don't know all the circumstances, but they arrested him. And this was the state, not the federal government, but they charged him. And he prevailed. And so I'm for using the judicial system the way it should be used. And I realize that takes a lot of time, but you look, someone like Mac, the federal government came in and told him, here's what you're going to do. He said, I think number 2 and number 3 are all right, but number 1, we're not going to do that, and I'm going to sue you. And he sued him. And some good case law came out. Usually sometimes you get bad case law, but some good case law came out of that, where the court recognized that local authorities don't have to buy into that. They can opt out if they want to. So a lot of good came out of that case that he was involved in, the Brady Bill. So I'm all for being a good partner. I'm all for working with the federal government to the extent where they don't commit a state crime. Okay, now.